Thank you, everyone, so much for coming. Good morning. As Nana will say, good morning to our Breaking Through family. Thank you so much for joining us today. We do not take it for granted. Well, my name is Marian Amwa, and I'm the author of Breaking Through, the Immigrant Handbook for Thriving in the American Workplace. This book actually shares very powerful stories and strategies designed to help all of us to excel in our professional journeys and in life. And the goal of these sessions, to empower, to learn, and to share practical tips that help us thrive, not just in the workplace, but in every part of our lives. So we have sessions like emotional intelligence, psychological safety. We'll be having a session on imposter syndrome very soon. And so we hope that you are able to connect with our stories, find moments of laughter, and share what you learn with others. This means that you can share this session, forward the session, or you can point people to our YouTube channel, Breaking Through Immigrant Voices. Let's make it lively and ask him questions. Like I've said before, this is a really remarkable story, an incredible journey. What do you do when life as you know it changes in a single moment? When the dreams you chased and the future you planned are replaced with uncertainty, pain, and questions you never thought you'd ask. In part 1, we met Nana, who is here with us again, with a young man. He came from Ghana with big dreams of becoming a lawyer or a soldier. In fact, he was actually going to the Marine Corps. March and January 31st of that same year, a devastating accident would test every ounce of faith and resilience that he had. Today, we will continue his story. But Nana's story isn't just a story about loss. It's a story about the fight to find new purpose, to redefine what success means, and to hold on to hope, even in the darkest moments. Nana, I remember you telling me that you woke up being told that you would never walk again. Everything you knew about yourself was gone. And last week you kept on saying that sitting in a wheelchair was not part of the equation. You felt like life had knocked you down. This conversation is for you if you also feel like life has knocked you down. Nana's story reminds us that no matter how broken life may feel, there is always a way to rebuild it. So let's get into it. Everyone, help me welcome Nana Bafo Ewa.
Hey.
You can give
Thank you, Miss Mariam. And hello to all you Breaking Through family out there. First of all, once again, it's a great pleasure to be on here again, to be invited again by Miss Marian. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed last week, and I hope those of you joining us today will also enjoy today's section. So, Miss Marian, thank you once again. I really appreciate you.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I should say thank you for coming up, opening up, sharing this story. Thank you so much. And for those who were not here last time and those who may not come from Bantama, Kumasi, Ghana, Nana, would you like to give us a quick introduction of who Nana is and a little introduction and another fun fact? I know last week you said you love movies, so give us another fun fact today.
Yes. Yeah, so once again, those of you who weren't here last week, as Miss Marian said, I'm Nana Bafo. I currently live in Alexandria, Virginia. I'm a cybersecurity expert. I've been doing cybersecurity for almost 10 years for the federal government. I work for different high-level federal government for agencies. That's what I've been doing. And last week, I mentioned a fun fact about me was movies, but That's the second one. I'm an avid sports person. Even though before the accident, I used to play basketball. I was a basketball player. And I was even the captain of my school basketball team, 1997 Premier College. I was a captain of that team. So I'm a big soccer fan too. Any Liverpool people in the house, yes, we will never walk alone. We took the championship this time around. So hey, Liverpool, go us! And also a Asante Kotoko fan, born and bred into Asante Kotoko, die-hard fan. So that is a big fun fact about me.
Okay, Nana, I don't want to begin an argument or a fight here because I know that there are some Arsenal fans here. There are Man U fans, Manchester United. There's Chelsea and Manchester City fans here. So today today let's give it to Liverpool. Let's give it to Liverpool. And
yeah, they don't have a choice. They have to give it to us.
We give it to Liverpool. We give it to Asante Kotoko because Asante Kotoko is a soccer team in Ghana. Just for those of you who don't know, and because Nana is our guest today we are all rooting for Asante Kotoko. Okay, yes. Very good, Nana. So let's get into the story. Today is part 2, life after the accident. So you wake up in a hospital bed, disoriented, with no memory of what happened. Can you take us back to that moment? When did you realize that life had changed forever? What emotions hit you when you were told that you would never walk again?
Yes, thank you, Ms. Mara, for that question. That's a very big loaded question, but I'll try my best to capture everything for you. So yes, I woke up a week or 5 days after the accident, and I'm told by the doctor you're not going to be able to walk again. Imagine at that time, like I said, I was 28 years old, and I had just come into the country, less than 3 years. Coming to the country, then you are hit with this devastating, life-changing news. I don't know. I don't know. Even looking back now, the emotion were a sense of loss first, and oh no, why me? Then it moved to anger. Then it just to what is happening. So then all this was happening in a matter of just few seconds after the doctor telling me the diagnosis. And it's all coming through my head. I just zoned out for a bit. I just zoned out. And even still now I can't even put it to words. The emotion, the different types of emotion that was going through my mind and my head at that time.
Wow. All kinds of emotion, the grief, the pain. How about the people around you?
Yes. So yeah. So coming to it again, feeling that like I said last week, I had my ex-girlfriend who was standing next to me, then my best friend was standing next to me too, once I came out of it. So as I'm trying to process what is happening, I realized that those around me I think they've gone through their own processing, because it looks like the accident happened on Tuesday. I'm coming out of it Saturday, so they have had time to grieve or to get understanding about whatever is happening. My friend, who knows me very well, saw that, I think, what was happening to me, what was going through my head. Then she just came close to my bed and just touched my chest and said, "It's okay. Lean back. We are here for you." So once she did that, for some reason, a sense of calm fell upon me. Then I just laid back. I can't say I cried, but I was really, really, really sad. That was really, really sad.
Wow. So then you are told you never walk again. And then from the hospital, where did you go? You spent a number of days. I presume you spent a number of days in the hospital. You never walk again. You are angry. You are hurt. You didn't cry, but people around you are crying. Where do you go from here? Where did you go from the hospital? Yeah, that's my question.
Yes. So after the news, you have to go through rehab, and the rehab took about 3 months, as I explained last month. It took about 3 months from February all the way to end of March. But there I was transitioning to a nursing home to go continue that. So I did rehab for a long time. Then coming back home, I have to come back home. That is where the difficulty and the hard work began.
Okay. So how many days did you spend? A number of days in the hospital, right?
Yes.
And then
go
ahead.
No, finish. I'm sorry.
So you spend a number of days in the hospital, then you go to rehab to do some more rehabilitation, right? Physical therapy and different things. In total, how long were you out? Remember, you left your house January 31st, 2006, right?
Yes.
So how many days? And then when did you come back?
So, I came back home March, end of March.
Then you came back home end of March.
End of March, yeah. If I remember, okay. Then after that, I went to rehab center here for another 2 months or so.
Okay.
Yeah. So overall, yes, it was about, I would say 5 months, 5 to 6 months of rehab.
Wow, 5 to 6 months.
I finally came back home. Like, they didn't go back to rehab around, I think it was July into August. That's when I left the rehab center here. I think at that time it was called Manake in Alexandria here.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. You left in a Jeep Cherokee and you are coming back home in a wheelchair. Did you go back to that same house that you left on January 31st? It's now been like 2 months, 2.5 months. Walk us through that part of the story, part of the journey.
Yes. Like I like the way you put it. Yes. I left my house in the Jeep Cherokee, came back in a wheelchair. Yes, that's totally how everything can sum up. I couldn't go back. I couldn't go back to where I used to live, because now that way I used to live, I have to go over a flight of stairs to get into the house. So it was a tiny house in Woodbridge. So I couldn't go back. So the next logical place was, thankfully for me, was my mother's apartment. She had just rented out an apartment, and it was on a basement level. So that was one of my saving graces. So I had to move in with my mom at that point, and that is coming back. That's where I went.
So you left January 31st. Going to pick up something, life-altering accident happens, hospital 2.5 months, you come back in a wheelchair, not back to your apartment, but to your mother's apartment to stay with her.
Yes.
Wow. Yes. So, processing loss like this isn't something anyone ever prepares for. I'm sure it was not in the slightest part of your mind that you go that morning in a Jeep Cherokee and not come back to your house, so not come back to your apartment, your home, but to your mother's apartment. How did you begin to wrap your mind around your new reality? So several things are happening. You can't walk, car is gone, you are sitting in a wheelchair, you can't go to your own home, your own environment, you're now with your mother. What was the hardest part? What was going on in your mind? What was the hardest part of that mental and emotional journey for you?
Right. So thank you for that. So the hardest part of it was bringing myself to accept what is happening. Right. Because even throughout my therapy sections or my rehab and everything, I still did not understand what was happening. I still couldn't believe what I was going through. because not being able to just get up and go drink when I'm thirsty. Mm-hmm. So little things, I wasn't accepting the fate that has been dealt me. What the doctor has told me, I wasn't accepting it. For some reason, I was just denying it. I'm not paralyzed. I'm not permanently paralyzed. I'm just kind of, it's just a little bit, something happened, in my spinal cord. It will get better. People get sick, you'll get better. So I was not fully grasping the reality of what is happening to me. Like, you are stuck in a wheelchair now. There's no go get into my Jeep Cherokee and go hang out with friends, go to parties, going to church, going to work. All that is gone, but for some reason, I was not accepting that.
So you were in denial.
Yes. Yes.
You can't even get yourself a cup of water.
No.
Simple things that we take for granted. You can't do any of those things.
Yeah. Yes. And it's amazing. The things that's when you realize the little things that we take for granted. We wake up every morning, we take for granted. That's what you see. Is just being able to just go from your bedroom to your toilet. It's a privilege. Yeah. Just being able to just put on your pants. It's a privilege. Just being able to lift one leg into one hole of your pants. It's a privilege.
So at this point, Nana, that I'm hearing I'm hearing more of the denial, that you're in denial. There was anger. And at this point, could you move your hands?
No, see how now I'm doing all this?
Yes.
At that time, no, I could not. Because if I do this, my spine, there's a sharp pain in my spine, so I can't even lift my hands. When I'm talking, I'm stationary like this. The slightest movement causes me pain on my back. Yeah, if I'm talking, if I lift there's pain in my spine. So I could not do any of these at a time.
Wow. Thank you for sharing. I'm glad that now you can move your hands.
Yes.
So, yeah, I don't want to get ahead. When were you able to move your hands?
So it took a bit. So people would think that, okay, just going to therapy or going to rehab, it took a long time for me to. That is when once I started feeling a bit stronger, that's when I started, thinking different. But like you said, you will get to that point. But it took me a long time for quite about 3 to 4 years before I started feeling better and being able to sit up straight and move like I'm doing now from the wheelchair. Yes, I wasn't able to do that for a very long time. I was not able to just come forward when I'm talking like this. No, raise my hands, do this, type on the computer. No. Those took a long time for me to get to that point.
Okay. And so you've shared with me that you had moments of deep darkness. There was a point where the weight of it all was just too unbearable and you attempted to take your own life. You've told me that twice you did that. So what brought you to that moment and what helped you to pull back from that edge? Like, it feels like you were at life's edge. You wanted to give up. What gave you even the smallest reason to keep going?
Yes. Yeah, thank you. So after, and this was getting closer to, I think, somewhere August 2006. That's after me going through the various stages of grief, the denial, anger, back in depression, and acceptance, going through it. That is, I got to a point where I'm like, no, life, this is not how I want to live my life. Because, excuse me to say, you wake up every morning, sometimes you are laying in your, excuse me to say this, in your poop, or you are laying in your pee, right? And there's nobody there to change you. Because my mother is going to work. the next aid has come and gone. And I cannot change myself like I can do that now, and I can change myself. All this. I wasn't able to do that. So you woke up, you are just sitting there or just sleeping in there, and you're just waiting for the next person to come and visit you. And they can help you change. And this was not a one-off thing. This was everyday thing because my body is changing, right? So certain parts of, and I don't have controls. One thing about spinal cord injury is it's not just that ability for you not to walk. You lose a lot of control over everything below your stomach. And what is below your stomach? Your pee and your poo, right? All those things, you don't control them. So they come anytime that they can come. You can't control it. I don't feel it when they are coming. When I want to pee, I don't know when I want to pee. I'm sitting there sometimes. The only way I can tell is I have to smell like, something smell like there's a pee here. Then I look down, I'm sitting in my pee. Then I realized how long have I been sitting here? So all those things started getting to my mind. I just felt like, nah, this is not, I don't want to live like this. No, this is not how I want to live my life. I can't live like this. So the next logical thing was to just take myself out because I felt like I'm just wasting space. Then, to long story short, the first attempt of suicide was I attempted suicide two times. One in 2006 and one in 2007. And I will explain that. The first suicide attempt was one of my friends from Bantima came to visit me one evening. And we're catching up. We were talking about stuff we used to do together. He was telling me, I'm a little bit older than him. So he was telling me the stuff we used to do, the things that he used to see me do, how I used to be affable. We spent time together. Then he ordered Chinese food for us to eat because he knows I like Chinese food. So we ate that Chinese food. Then he left around 10 p.m. After he has left, a sudden sadness just befell me. Yeah, just reminiscing all the things I used to do. And him affirming the things I used to do with him. I just felt like, why, man? What are you doing? What are you here? You remember everything he just said, you can't go back to it. Right? Mm-hmm. And I don't see a future of me doing that. I don't see that. I can't see that. So you know what? Maybe I should just take and leave. And maybe I should take and leave. So I saw my medication, some of my medications. I have been prescribed some powerful medications, painkillers. I saw them sitting there. And you know what? That's it. So I took them. The next day came around. I woke up in the hospital too again. And that time my nurse aide was standing next to me, and I was in my Vienna hospital's emergency room. Then he was asking me, "What did you do? Why? I came to your house. I called you several times, tried to wake you, tap you several times. You wouldn't wake up." So after 30 minutes, I called the ambulance. So I said, "Okay." At the same time, I said, "Oh." The moment I said, "Okay," my eyes open. I was so mad. I'm like, "Oh man, I didn't die. I'm still here." Can you imagine just how to get yourself to that type of level? That I attempted suicide, I tried to die, then I'm not dead, I'm not mad, I'm not dead. That is how bad I felt about my life at that point. So the doctor came in, he's like, "Oh, you're awake." So he tried to explain to me what is going on, and he asked me straight, "What did you do, man?" So it was just me and him. I said, "Well, I tried to, you see me, I don't feel like living life anymore. So I tried to kill myself." It's like, you did. They tried to do that. And you did not succeed, right? And I said, obviously I'm still here. Obviously I'm still here. And he's like, "Okay, I've ordered some, because he asked me what I took, right? So I told him all the medications that I took. And he's like, "Really? You took that many? And you are still here?" "Well, I've ordered some x-ray of your stomach, so let the way come." So the x-ray came in, and he was like looking at it, and it's like, "Oh man, you are so lucky." I was like, "What?" He said, did you eat something?" I said, "Yes, I ate Chinese food the night." And he said, "Okay, that is why you are still here." because the Chinese food that you ate kind of still, it's not digested yet. So they absorb all the medication. So they absorb all the medication. That is why you are still here, because the type of medication you're telling me you took, you should not have lasted more than an hour after taking it. So it's the food that saved you.
So you are saying that there was enough food in your stomach.
Yes.
That is why. Okay.
Yes. That's what he said. He said it was the Chinese food that saved you. Yeah. So again, that means I have to go back to my bad self of life of being mad and angry and being hopeless, my hopeless life again. And this was somewhere in 2006. So moving forward, 2007. Again, a couple of friends were going to a party that I usually go to that party and I'll make a mess, full of myself at that party. So we were talking about once they were going. Then after, this was like around 11 p.m. I think this was somewhere around July or so, 2007. It's not 2007. Then after talking to the same emotions came back to me, the same thinking came back to me. Look, man, I just don't like my life. I just don't. And this after a year after going through everything I'm going through, I'm still hopeless. Like I just need to end this. I can't live my life like this. Again, there was my medication sitting there. This time I took some medication. I don't remember the number I took. Same scenario. A next aid came in. She called 911. I woke up again at the same emergency room. Then there was another doctor who also came in and asked me, then I told him what I've done again. Then he was like, okay, we kind of saw that earlier in your x-ray, so we flashed it out of your system. And he did not, I told him the number of medications. So yeah, that was good too, because there weren't enough to, kill you. That's I didn't eat, but they said I didn't take enough medication that would have killed me. So they quickly flashed everything out of my system. So that was that. So I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna go back to my hopeless life again.
So I perceive that there was a lot of pain and misery and pity. Like, why? This isn't the life I ever envisioned for myself. Why me? Why me?
Yes.
Why me?
Yes.
But before we continue the story, can you say a word of encouragement to anyone who is feeling down or low, or feeling like life has given them really bad lemons?
Bad rap, yes, of course.
Bad rap, yeah.
Yes. And I mean, if you're listening to me, and we all experience loss at some point in our life, right? We can't grade the type of losses that we go through, but at some point we will experience loss. And you might be at a corner where you feel like the whole world has turned against you. There's no way out of whatever you're going through. Mine was spinal cord injury. I was confined to a wheelchair. So that was my loss, right? I've lost the ability to use my legs. So what I want to tell you is it gets better. And though that statement, it gets better, it's very loaded. It has a lot to it. It's patience, going through it, and just knowing that at some point you will get better. Because I have this saying that no music playing forever, right? If you listen to a music, at some point you can play 24. At some point it will end. So that is one way of kind of one mantra I live my life. No music plays forever. Because at some point it has to end, and you see that it gets better. And I've experienced that. So what I will tell you is, first of all, just look. Because I had when I realized what helped me was having good friends and great family, right? And open up to people. One thing I wasn't doing well, that necessitated all my suicide I was kind of bubbled in. I wasn't sharing a lot of what was happening with me, with friends, people I trust. Once I started doing that, that's where most of my freedom came about, and I was able to do stuff. So talk to people, find somebody you can trust, talk to them, and know this. Look at me. It gets better. So if you are having suicidal thoughts, it's okay to have those thoughts. It's definitely okay. But you need to know that, find a way to get past those thoughts and look at, okay, you will get better. Believe me, it gets better.
It gets better. I'm hearing it gets better. If you're having any suicidal thoughts, please call the helpline, talk to someone, reach out for help. And Nana is saying that one of the things that helped him to get out, we go to that question, was support, finding that support system, family and friends. So reach out for help. If you are feeling very low, he says, it gets better. No music plays forever. No music plays forever. And so, Nana, I know that you began talking about how you made that shift. Can you go into more details when you decided, I'm not giving up? How did you start rebuilding your identity, your purpose, and sort of redefining success on your own terms?
Yeah. So let me start from after the second suicide attempt, right? Funny. I made jokes about this. After that, and after contemplating and coming to a conclusion, okay, I came out to this conclusion. Okay, two things. It's either you don't know how to kill yourself, or God has a plan for you. And obviously, yes, I don't know how to kill myself, but I've tried it twice. So I'm a failure on that part. So I'm like, okay, you failed on this part. You tried to kill yourself twice. It didn't work. So why don't you just leave it to God and just trust in God and see what comes out of that. And I was making those thinking without even not really believing what I was saying. But I said, I'm going to leave it to God, and just live my life now. So once I made that switch, that thought, I put that thought in my head and I said, okay, I'm going to live life as I'm going to get better. At some point, I'm going to get better. At some point, I said that to myself every day. So once I started saying those affirmation words to myself, that I'm going to get better, then for some reason, my body I began to feel stronger as time goes on. My mind was clear. I was happy. I was happy. I was like truly happy because I have been masking my happiness, my sadness with happiness for a very long time. So, which I went to a depression, all those stuff because of doing that. But once I made that change, then I'm gonna believe in God and just let God take us. Amazing things have started happening. Once I opened my mind, and that's when I started going to school and all those stuff, to get to where I am now. So, but that is, that's how I started making that change in my life.
So you made a mental shift at some point, and I'm hearing you saying affirmations, telling yourself, well, you don't know how to kill yourself, obviously. Thank God the Lord saved you. And you made that mental switch that you are going to live. You are going to live. You were making those affirmations, and something began changing in you. The power of words, something began changing in you, and a whole lot. But I haven't been reading the comments, so I want to start reading the comments.
Okay.
And I might not get to all of them. I'm trying very hard. Okay. It says that Blessing Senior, Peter says, Blessing Senior. Bless your heart, Brenda. Saved by Chinese food, our Redeemer lives. Then there's another comment. Adana, it gets better. No music plays forever. That is deep. And Hash Baby says that I thank God, I'm proud of you, Bafo. I remember I visited you and I broke down, even though I pretended to be a caregiver.
Yeah. Yes.
Bro,
yes,
God bless you. Another iPhone says, you are a fighter. I draw a lot of motivation from you. Abba Pierre says, always God wins if you leave your life to him. Eva says, very inspirational. It gets better. Very inspirational. It gets better.
Yes.
Thank you, Nana. So now you've made the mental shifts, and as you are, proclaiming, professing, confessing, saying all those positive things to yourself, to your mind, to your body, is going to get better. You start feeling better. You have family and friends and other support around you, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, but you are still living in the wheelchair. Right? Okay.
Yes.
Then what happens? Because now I know the time won't get into all that, but you are still living in a wheelchair, but there's something that has shifted in your mind. There's something that has shifted your perspective, right? And so many other things happen. Still living in the wheelchair, but things begin to happen. You go to school, you are driving, you are moving towards claiming your independence and redefining success in your own terms. Can you speak to us? Tell us about some of those wins, some of those moments that gave you that helped you to retake your life, even after losing the ability to walk. I would want to leave the driving a little bit to the end, not to the end in this question, but I want you to tell us how it all happened. That Nana Bafo Iwa is driving now. So start from.
Yes. So remember I told you for when between 2006 and 2008 after the suicide, my mindset was I'm just existing. I'm just living. So once I made that change, it went from just living to now I need a good quality of life. Right. So if you need a good quality of life, then that means there are certain things you need to adjust yourself to, bring into your life. So the first time was opening up to people. Like I said, opening up to people. So then getting more feedback from people and more help from people, asking for help and accepting help. So that's when 2001 I became open. So my friends started coming together. They first started doing this. They said, "Oh, we're gonna help you." They start doing this soccer fundraiser for me so that I can get some money every year to support myself for medical supplies. Because family and can only do it, right? People get their life to live.
Yeah.
So they decide, okay, we're gonna help you. So every year since 2009, all the way through 2014.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they were doing this every year. They organize this soccer fundraiser for me, and people from all walks of life, all Maryland, Virginia, New York, people come from all the place, come and participate. We raise a fund for me. So whilst they were doing that kind of my confidence was coming up again. Right, I was getting stronger again. So quality of life. So now, how do I achieve quality of life? I need to get a job. Okay, what can you do? What kind of job can you do from a wheelchair? Because I used to work in a power plant as so Ryan, I can't do that. You're in a wheelchair. So what can you do from a wheelchair? So the next logical step was I can either go and sit, maybe get a job at maybe Walmart and be a greeter at the gate. Those people who comes in and say, "Hey, welcome to Walmart." I can do that, but knowing me, the type of person I am, I always want more. Right. So I said, okay, school, get a degree. And I know if I get a degree, that will open bigger doors for me. So why didn't I go to school? That's why I started going to school. Then I went to Nova, got my associate degree, then subsequently went to GW, George Washington University, to get my bachelor's. So once I did that, once I go into that, I was able to achieve a lot of the stuff behind me. All this I started getting them once around from 2014 downwards now to this point. So once I did that shift, and going through that, and I realized, you talk about now, that's where the car comes in.
Yes. Nana, what is Nova?
So I wanted more.
Nana, can you explain what Nova is? Not everybody is familiar with.
Oh, Nova is a Northern Virginia Community College. It's a community college that have degrees on the associate level. It's a 2-year college. So if you choose to, you don't want to go straight to the 4-year college, that's what, because it's affordable. It's affordable than going. So we save money there. You do that, you get your 2 years from there, then you go to the 4-year college. There, you go from there. So it's a community college, yes.
So tell the everyone listening. So at this point, you go to community college. You are still in the wheelchair. You are able to maneuver. Can you speak a little bit to that?
Yes.
How you maneuvered? You couldn't drive, yeah, and you were going to a community college, or was it online? Yes. If you can explain.
No, it was going to actual class, on campus, yeah. So and at this point, like I said, I have kind of coming to terms with my situation. Okay, doctor said you're not gonna go, but I know I'm gonna walk at some point in life. So once I started school, I'm rolling, and I'm in America, so there are a lot of resources available for people with disabilities, right? So one is transportation. You get free transportation to ride the metro, the bus system, and the rail system. And there's also a ride share version of that public transportation. They call it Metro Access. That's specifically for people with disabilities, right? So knowing that there's that option helped me a little with my mindset of going to school, because at least I know I can get from point A to point B, depending on that, using that system. It wasn't a reliable system, but it was something to get me to school. Right. So I did that since 2014. I was using that, going to school, meeting people. My confidence was building up, doing a lot of stuff in school. Then now I'm going to why I decided to drive again, because during that point, remember, we're in America. The climate is not always sunny. It's not always sunny in America, right? So there are times I'm going to school, Metro Access doesn't come, so I have to take the bus. It's raining. Sometimes I'll be at the bus stop waiting for the bus, then it starts raining. I've been rained on several times, snowed on several times, just waiting for bus. Sometimes it's really, really cold. You see how cold it gets sometimes outside. Sometimes just sitting at the bus stop waiting for the bus. It's not coming. It's like 15 or 20 degrees. But all those things they didn't stop me from, because I had a purpose. That time I have charted a purpose and a plan and a goal to attain. So I have to go through all that. Then one day coming out of one of my classes, I saw this lady coming off of a handicap van, one of the vans. So she came out and said, "What is that?" She said, "Oh, it's a handicap van." And I don't know they had that. So I asked her where she bought it from. Then she told me the store where she bought it from. I'm like, I need one of these. I said, that's what I need, because I felt happy there's that option there for me. So I came and told a few friends of mine. I told them I've inquired about this. I want to start driving again, which was not an easy decision to make, because at that time I haven't driven since 2003 January. I've not driven till this was 2016 that we're talking about. So even just the thinking about it now was like, wow, I don't know what came over me. I wanted to drive again. Anyway, so I said, okay, I need to drive again, which was a very bold decision for me to do. So I called the driving school who teaches people in handicap. They told me, yes, we can do this for you. And lo and behold, I was able to raise the money to buy an older version of the handicap van. At that time, it was, I think, $8,000 or so, $14,000. So friends came in, people helped, and I bought it. Now I need to drive it. You got a car, now you need to drive it. And there's fear, and there's fear. I'm afraid, because I haven't got into, like I said, driver's side for a long time. I was driving on the passenger side. People give me drive. So the first time I sat on the driver's seat, I will tell you, I was scared to. I don't know if I can't even say the word. I was so scared. But at the same time, I felt so happy at the same time. I was scared and happy at the same time. Just the ability to just sit on the driver's side of a car. I never thought 2006, 2007, 2008, 2009, I would be in this position just to sit in front of a car with the thought of driving it. I never thought that was going to happen during those times. I never in my wildest dream that the time will come that I was sitting in front of a car again and let alone drive it. But it has come. And I believe because I had made the change of the mindset that I'm going to get well, God in his own wisdom was putting things in place for me to get through. I think that was one of them. So I started learning, which was difficult because this time you are driving with your hands and it's not easy because I can't use my legs. So it's custom in the way that you use your hands. They call hand controls to drive the car. So acceleration and brakes. So I can't get into it. So I started doing that. 2-3 weeks later on, I was able to move it back and forth, and I was able to go do my driver's license test and everything. Passed. Got my driver's license again, which was one of the hard years, and to me, it was a big achievement. Getting my driver's license again is one of my greatest achievements ever. Once I got out, that one I cried on that one. The day they gave me the driver's license. Yeah, I saw a little bit on that because I felt like, wow. I actually did it. Wow. I said I was going to drive. I got a car, and I have my driver's license again.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Nana. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So I see, let me read the comments and then we'll look at the school, because I see a lot of certificates that you didn't have before, I presume, before the accident. And so let me read the comment and then we'll talk a little bit about what you're doing now, your career, the courses, and then let me just read the comments because I see claps all over the place. Mental shift. There's somebody said mental shift. I think he went through a purge. People that left you, the life you left behind and the pain you harnessed to make you a strong fighter. Resilience. Mental shift is a comment. Back for soccer tournament. Please, it's raining here in Ghana, so we can't hear you. Then another comment. Let me make it bigger so that I can see. There's another comment. There are lots of comments. There are claps. Wow, you did it. Great job. Very remarkable. God is good. God is good. Nana, we are all proud. We are all proud of you. Well done. You took back control. You took back your independence. Okay, so you are a cybersecurity expert, you've told us. Tell us a little bit about this journey. You went to Nova, which is a community college in Northern Virginia. You said a little bit about what drew you into the field. Talk a little bit more and probably talk a little bit about some of the obstacles and how you overcame those obstacles to where you are now. Oh.
Yes. So like I told you, so I was somebody who was good with computers. I'm the kind of person who anybody buys a new computer or have a problem, they'll bring it to me. I never had a formal, I just knew for some reason how to fix them. So once the decision came that get an education and which field I thought I was going to go, I'm like, everybody was like, well, you help us with our computers, so why don't you do something in computers, right? So that's why I ended up in cybersecurity. Then, I graduated. Then you talk about obstacles. The biggest obstacle was for me to sit for a long time in class and use my type at the same. Because if you're just doing this, there's pain in my back. So that was one of the biggest obstacles. Because the classroom is really suited for a disabled person. That is fine. But I was just sitting down for a long time and not experiencing pain while trying to focus on lecture. those were one of the biggest things I've always had. Even now, I deal with them, but like again, I've made a mental thing about it. The pain is that I don't think about it. So the constant pain was the thing I needed to overcome or create different distractions about it when I'm in class, so that I can focus and get my grades and do well all that. So that was one of the biggest thing I was facing.
Wow. Okay. I know that several things you've talked about: the fundraiser, the will to work again. You've talked about driving. You've made a lot of achievements. I see those certificates. We are all clapping for you. Nana, you are a big inspiration. You've talked about your faith. You've talked about community, people around you helping you to face this mountain and actually climbing this mountain. And I know that there are new advancements. I know you told me that your reason to, and if I say it wrong, please correct it, that the will to live again gives you a reason to live. Do you want to expand on that a little bit? The will to walk again gives you a why.
So yes, because that is the anchor of my being now. So it's like, for me, even though spinal cord injury, the way we look at it now is it's irreversible. There's nothing you can do about it. But for me, I have this hope that I am going to walk again, and I'm going to prove that to myself. And I know with God that is going to happen before I die. I always say to people, I'm going to walk before I die. I don't know when it's going to come. I'm going to walk before I die. And that brings me to, by the time I was hurt, 2006 to now, there have been so much medical advancements in the area of spinal cord research and spinal cord treatment. Right. So right now I'm looking at several options that has been circulating around in the medical field that I'm hoping soon I'll settle on one. Then it's a surgery. They call it spinal cord stimulation surgery. That is what I'm looking to do, and it's very, very promising. It's very, very promising that I hope after once I made a decision to go do it, will also be another life changing. That will also be another life changing for me. So for now, when I say the will to work again is what drives me, and it's because I know what God is doing. I've seen what God is doing.
Yeah. Now you work as a cybersecurity expert. Congratulations, Nana. I would want you to give your message to the world and to all those who are listening. Before I do that, I'll go to the chat. But I also want to say thank you to everyone who has supported Nana in this journey. It's been family, it's been community, it's been the system. He's had to relearn a lot of things, learning the system, navigating the system, talking about transportation, educational system. It's been the doctors, it's been the medical staff, it's been those who have come home to support him. I'll tell you, when I put out the flyer, somebody called me. I said, "You are talking to Nana." I know Nana. I was there when I heard when he had the injury, and I visited him. And his story is one of inspiration and motivation. And so, Nana, my last question to you will be, what is your message to the world? For anyone watching who feels life has knocked them down, what is the message? And you can share one of the most important lessons you have learned through all this. But as you're putting your thoughts together, let me see what the comments are, because people are really, really, God is good. Wow, you did a great job. It can only get better. Let me go to the Bar 4 will come for part 3. Bar 4 will come for part 3 when he's walking again. Thank you. Bar 4 will come for Nana. Bar 4 will come for part 3 when he's walking again. I say amen to that. Oh, the comments are just coming. I learned a lot from the way you spoke to my family and friends, and the community didn't leave you behind your fight. To fight this battle alone. Kudos to everyone. Together we build again. Amen. Eva says amen. And the more the comments are coming, I'll try and see amen. Somebody else to say amen. Nana will walk again. Nana will walk again. So Nana, I can't get to all the comments, but what is your message to the world?
Right. Thank you. So my message to anybody watching and who is going through whatever loss that you're going through right now. Like I said earlier, it gets better. And also if you think that, okay, you've been going through for a long time, how when is it going to end? Look at me. I am your answer. I'll go back to it again. It gets better. You are gonna get well. You're gonna get better. Look at me. But trust me, like I said, about 18, 19 years ago, I would not be sitting here talking the way I'm talking to you now. But look at me now. You just have to open up your mind and accept the fact that, okay, you're going through whatever you're going through. But also accept the fact that it's going to get better. You're going to get yourself way out of it. So, and I'm a Christian, right? I'm a Christian. And one Bible passage that also helped me, and I didn't mention it, is 1 Corinthians 10:13, right? The one says, no temptation have overtaken man, except what is, God pushed you so that you can go through it. He creates a way for you so that you can always come out of it. That Bible verse says a whole lot about. Once I read that, anytime I read that, it's like, yeah, this is what I'm going through. So I took hold of it, and I'm living my life according to that. The first time was the temptation has come, the loss has come, but now I know that God knows my strength, that He gave me this particular burden, this particular loss, and I know that He's going to create a way for me to come out of it on the end. And I've seen the way that He's being created by God. I can testify to it because of how my life is now. If you can look behind me, the achievement I've been able to do within this short 10 years now, it's been amazing. It's been incredible. And so I want to tell you, anytime you feel down, anytime you feel like life is not being fair to you, or you have any suicidal talk, just reflect on this day. Look at me and see, hey, if Balfour did it, Balfour went through this, I'm also going to get through it. And it's not going to be easy. I can tell you this. It is not going to be easy. I tried 2 suicide attempts. It is not going to be. I'm sitting here today talking and laughing, but I just didn't get here, able to be doing this. It's not going to be easy, but anytime those thoughts come, anytime those feeling of loss or you are nothing, hopelessness come, just look at me. Just look at me. Then you will know that, yeah, at some point you also be in a place where you'll be fine. So the short and long story short, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to leave you with, you'll be better. It gets better. So trust in whatever God you believe in, and trust in yourself, and open up to people. Share your pain and your hurt and your stress with people. Let people know what you're going through. Okay? Then you'll see the amazing shift that will come into your life.
Wow. Everyone, help me to thank Nana. Help me. Nana, thank you. It's trending. Hashtag Nana will walk again. Nana will be here for part 3. It gets better. I can see. Thank you all for, applauding him. Thank you. No temptation has overtaken you. That is not common. But to every temptation, God provides a way of escape. Yes. That is the verse that he was talking. 1 Corinthians 10:13.
Thank you.
Nana, yes. Thank you for your courage, your honesty, your heart. Your story is a reminder that while we don't get to choose the battles life throws at us, we do get to choose how we fight them. We had that mental shift. To anyone watching this right now, or maybe in the replay, maybe you're in a season where life feels very heavy, where hope feels distant, or where you are questioning your strength. Remember the things that Nana has said. Watch him. Watch him. Resilience isn't about never falling down. It's about finding the will to get back up. One more time, even if it looks different than before. As Nana's story shows us, you can lose what you thought defined you and still discover a version of yourself that's even stronger, even wiser, and even more powerful than you ever imagined. If this conversation spoke to you, do me a favor. Share it with your friends. Tell them not to give up. It gets better. It gets better.
Miss Mariam.
Find people. Yes.
Miss Mariam.
Yes.
Before let me. I'm sorry to cut in. Let me say something. One last thing. It's about your book. I would like to recommend your book to. I don't know if people can see it. Breaking Through the Immigrants. This book, I've been reading it. This book is amazing, especially for us immigrants. There are so many anecdotes in your book. When I was reading, I'm like, oh yeah, this is me. This actually happened to me too. So I recommend that people buy your book, Breaking Through. This book, go look for it. Wherever you are, go look for it. You'll be amazed, especially those of us who lived longer in this the US, wherever it may be. You will know, and it's a guide for you to help other new immigrants that comes in. So I was reading it. Then yesterday I was just reading it. The preface, even just the preface, the first sentence in your preface was like, oh, this was me. So I would recommend your book to people, anybody who was watching it, to go get this book and read it. It's an amazing book, and it's less than 100 pages. So it's a quick read. Then you thank me later.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you all so much for joining us today. What an amazing time with Nana. What a remarkable story. Thank you all so much for joining us today. See you again next time, but definitely there'll be a part 3. Hashtag Nana will walk again. On that note, thank you all so much for joining us. Bye for now.
Thank you so much, everybody.